imagine you give this book to someone, you say, you've got to read this. And they go, well, what's it about? And you say, oh, it's set in Nazi Germany. It's narrated by death. Nearly everybody dies and it's 580 pages long. You'll love it. When American soldiers were occupying Munich, their radio show at midday was called Luncheon in Munchin, and that was the first title of The Book Thief. And I wrote one page, and it was one of those classic, oh, that's not it. But I just left it, didn't think about it. It was just kind of somewhere in my mind. And then at some point I went, maybe that book that I'm setting in Nazi Germany that I'm thinking about, maybe I should call it The Book Thief. I grew up in the southern suburbs of Sydney. It was a very typical childhood of football in the backyard and arguing with siblings and neighbourhood kids and having a great time. But we also had immigrant parents from Germany and Austria, and then they would tell us their stories. Hans Huberman was based on my mum's foster father. Rosa was based on my mum's foster mother. And Rudy, in a lot of ways, he's not my dad, and Liesl is not my mum. The moment I fictionalise anything, the moment I make one thing up, it's not my mum anymore, she's Liesl, she's totally herself. The story of Hans in the First World War, that actually happened to my dad's father. My brother is a house painter, his daughter is now a house painter. Our dad was a house painter, his dad, and then his dad's dad was a house painter. So it kind of felt natural for Hans Huberman to be a painter. I remember way back I was even thinking it was going to be more of a non-fiction style. So I went from that to thinking it was going to be a 100-page novella. And then I brought the idea in of death being the narrator, and I thought, it's not going to be a 100-page novella. It's going to be a 250-page book maybe. And then it just kept growing and growing. And I just thought, no, do it. Every time there was a risk, I took it. And by the time it was done then, it was a 580-page book.
Was there a single sentence that unlocked The Book Thief for you?
Yes, there was, and it's really early. It was, here is a small fact, you are going to die. And it's my mum's favourite line in the whole book. It shows you about her sense of humour.
Are you afraid of death?
I love when people come up to me and say, thanks to your book, I'm not afraid of dying anymore. To which I say, I'm really happy for you. And I used to be a bit glib about that and say, but I'm really terrified of dying now. But I don't think I am. I think I've learned to feel like death is the thing that makes life so worthwhile and gives meaning to everything we do. That was what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a book of ideas and an ambitious book, a book that pushed me to write something that I wasn't sure I could write. And I think that's my happiest place, is to not be sure I could do it. Even if they didn't like it or love it, or if they couldn't stand it, they couldn't say it wasn't ambitious or it didn't have ideas in it. That's what I loved about making it. I was really alive when I was making it. I loved the first cover of the Australian edition. I thought it looked a bit pale or something. I said, oh, maybe we could try another colour on there, maybe red or something. And I didn't know what was going to happen. But then someone came along, obviously, and just splashed some red paint on it and went, there, look, there's your red. And it was left on there, and it could be blood or it could be paint. I also really loved the Brazilian cover, and I love the idea there that death is female. So it's a hooded woman carrying a red umbrella. I've had my chance, and this book is, it's been a really beautiful life, from writing it and to the 20 years that it's been out in the world. And I couldn't ask for anything more in a career, so maybe I should just quit.